The year is 1949, and this was the last year for Studebaker's new pre-war design, which dates back to 1947. Designed by the studio of Raymond Loewy and signed off by Studebaker's chief of design, Virgil Exner. But before getting into all of it, I'm Jay. Welcome to What It's Like, the automotive channel that digs the lost and forgotten cars that never get the coverage back in the day. History, specs, design. It's almost like seeing these cars for the very first time. If that sounds of interest, a channel that you will totally dig, subscribe and hit the bell icon next to it to never miss a video. Spring is finally here. If you have a cool car in your personal collection that you would like to see featured on this channel in mini documentary format, or perhaps you have a YouTube classic car channel or just in the automotive sector in general and would love to collaborate, here is your invitation. Drop me a line at what_it's_like at a web provider that no one takes seriously but was top search engine at a time.com if interested. 1949 Studebaker model lineup was broken down into three wheelbase offerings. The Champion, which was powered by the smaller 169.6 cubic inch displacement flathead 6, producing 80 horsepower while riding a 112-inch wheelbase. The Commander was powered by the larger 245.6 cubic inch displacement 100 horsepower 6 while riding a longer 120 wheelbase, and the Land Cruiser, which was part of the Commander line, rode a longer 123-inch wheelbase, but it was only available as a four-door sedan. Studebaker Commander could be had in two trim levels, Deluxe and Regal Deluxe. The Regal Deluxe could be had as a two-door sedan, four-door sedan, two-door Starlight Coupe, and two-door convertible. The convertible was only available in Regal Deluxe trim for both Champion and Commander series. Studebaker would offer the Commander from 1927 through 1934, being dropped from the product line only to come back in 1937. In February of 42, all automotive production was halted for war production. They picked back up in 47, which Studebaker was the first company to offer an all-new pre-war design from a company that existed before World War II. Kaiser Frazer made an all-new car, but they wasn't around before the war. Same can be said about Tucker and Crosley. The big three just used the dies before the war. Same sheet metal, just facelifted. 1949 was the last version of the 47 design, which was designed by the studio of Raymond Loewy, with Virgil Exner making finalizations because Exner worked at Studebaker as a designer. There are some key differences between the 47 and the 49, so let's compare. 47 on top, 49 on the bottom, starting in the front. Very similar in the front, with the only difference being the bumpers. The black car is definitely shinier. The trim is much of the same except for the thick piece right at the nose on the 49 that the 47 doesn't have. Moving to the side profile, very similar side profiles, but a few things did change. Three sidebar trim pieces just in front of the floor vent on the 49 that isn't there on the 47. Also, the floor vent has trim on it that the 47 doesn't. Vent windows have been updated as well as the gravel guards. Antennas move from driver's side to passenger side on the 49. Moving aft, the bumpers are different. Exhaust tips are also different. Jumping inside to take a closer look at the dash and interior situation, steering wheels are different. Dash layouts are the same, just done differently. Which one do you like better? Let's talk specs. 205.43 inches long, 69.75 inches wide. It rides a wheelbase of 120 inches. It weighs 3,558 pounds. Price, $2,467, which is equivalent to you spending $32,374.92 in the year 2024. Total 1949 Studebaker production was 129,301 units, of which total Commander was 43,719 units, and of that number, total Regal Deluxe convertible for the Commander was only 1,702 units. Moving on to engine, only one engine on offer, 245.6 Cubic inch displacement, flathead 6, 4 liters. It's good for 100 horsepower, 3,400 RPM, 200 pound-feet, or 271 newton meters at 1,600 RPM, with a bore of 3 and 5/16 inches and a stroke of 4 and 3/4 inches. Compression was 6.5 to 1 with optional 7 to 1 high compression head. When backed with a 3-speed manual transmission, 0 to 60 could be had in 18.5 seconds with a theoretical top speed of 85 miles per hour while achieving an average 13.9 to 15 miles to the gallon. These are all just jumping off points. Mileage may literally vary. The overdrive unit would bump MPG up to 16.8 to 20 miles to the gallon. This 1949 Studebaker Commander is currently for sale at Classic Auto Mall, Morgantown, Pennsylvania, where they have this car along with 930 other cars currently for sale at this point in time. For hours of operation, directions, to get more pictures and information pertaining to this very car, be sure to click the link below after the show. All right, let's talk styling. Studebaker Commander, nice and proud there. Turn signal indicators. Look at how massive these lights are. There's my hand for reference. And you got running lights at the top there. There's a lot of stainless on this car. I absolutely love the way that these bumpers are designed. Look at these overriders, how they come to a point here. Also, the bumper isn't straight. It's got a lot of different contours going on. There's a dip here in the center. Nice Studebaker badge here on the nose. So the hood profile is relatively smooth, but just look at how much it goes up in the center. That's what the hood ornament looks like. This car doesn't have a center line that goes the whole way down, just this piece here. Notice the windshield is a single piece windshield with opposing windshield wipers. The wheel wells do flare out. Also has these side pieces that protrude out. Footwell vent. Notice this car does not have a cowl vent. It does have an ever so slight center crease. Also notice the windshield isn't straight. It comes to a point here. Kind of mimics the hood design. Also look at how these doors are designed. It's not a straight piece. Comes in here like that. Super smooth profile down the side. The mirrors are mounted to the door itself. Has really nice vent windows. And because this is a convertible, it doesn't have drip rails. But just look at this flare, how it comes down to the bottom. Almost like doubles as a mud flap. Just look at that. That's really cool. Does have rocker molding as well as gravel guard here on the rear fender bulge. Fender skirts. Gas filler location is on the driver's side. Also check out this line here. horizontal tail lights, as well as the bumpers back here mimic the front bumpers. Also, just check out how this is designed back here. Real glass window in the back. Getting inside, but before we do, take a look at this door handle and how it's designed. This door has a nice, solid feel to it. Also notice how the door is curved up towards the vent window. This feels like a very nice material. It could be a vinyl. It might be leather because it's a convertible. Nice bright work to separate, to give it some sort of texture. Armrest as well as door handle to pull the door shut. Window crank for the big window. It operates like that. Notice it's all framed out. This car has vent windows. They operate like that. This is the door handle to get out. Coming down inside the pedal box down here, footwell vent, clutch, brake, gas pedal. Just take a look at this interior. Here's what over the hood looks like. Here's what first person over the hood looks like. If I had this car, I would drive it every day. This car looks absolutely amazing. The gauges, the engine turn dash, it's all really, really nice. On to the button switches and knobs. 3 gauge pods sit directly in front of the driver. In the very first pod, there are 4 gauges: oil pressure, coolant temperature, amp meter, gasoline gauge. The center has the clock, speedometer with odometer at the top. Notice 90 and 100 miles per hour are flipped so you can see them. Turn signal indicators are at the bottom. Windshield wipers, hood release, overdrive. I think this one is for the headlights. The one that is labeled L, I believe, is for the lighter. Key, handbrake, radio, heat, and ventilation controls. Up above, there are sun visors, and here's my hand for reference. They're on the good size. Pretty nice size sun visor. Also notice you could put both sun visors down, and there isn't much of a partition between the two because the rear view mirror is mounted on the dashboard. Also, because this is convertible, you have a latch here, and then this to help stretch it to make it clamp. Just take a gander at this steering wheel. It's pretty big, full-size steering wheel. It's probably at least a 20-inch steering wheel. It's really nice. It's got a full horn ring as well as the Studebaker logo there. Underneath the steering wheel, I got adequate space to put my hand in between my lap and the steering wheel. No space issue. The clutch and the brake pedal come up out of the floor. They're not suspended. On to the glove box test. Here is my test subject. Here's my hand for reference to show you how big this is. So if it fits in the glove box over here, you know it's pretty impressive sized glove box. Man, that glove box is massive. And it doesn't open like a traditional glove box. They all open different. So it fits in the hole, but I don't know if it's going to shut. Yeah, it's not going to shut. This is in the way. All right, getting in the rear. Slide the seat forward, which it doesn't. The farther the seat goes forward to get in the back, which is adequate space, I guess. So the opening isn't very big to get back here, but there is tons of space back here once you're back here. Let's take a gander at the dashboard. That's what it looks like from the back. Real quick look at the greenhouse, or the pillar to glass ratio in this car. It is actually very airy for a convertible. And this is what visibility would look like out the back from the back seat. There is a nice storage area back here for whenever the convertible top is in use. Look, there's coat hangers, coat hooks on the back of the, I'm assuming that's what these are hooks to hang stuff. There's those there and over there. Creature comforts back here. There's tons of space. Ashtray on both sides. There's one there as well as one here. There isn't a lighter though. The windows do go up and down back here, and they operate like this. Also, just notice how big, beefy this pillar is. This is what I look like sitting in the back of the 49 Studebaker with the convertible top up. I got tons of headroom. If you have a family and you're into classic cars and you want to go to car shows, this would be a really good contender. There's tons of space back here. There's enough space for 3 kids sitting 3 across. I mean, we're a lot smaller when we were children, or at least I was. 2 adults could fit back here. I'm 6'2". I'm sure another 6'2" person could fit right next to me. There's tons of space back here. The only issue is getting back here. The opening isn't very big. Taking a real quick gander under the hood, inline flathead 6, oil bath air cleaner with downdraft carburetor, 6-volt electrical system, oil filter outside the block in the canister between the engine and the battery, coil just to the right of that. It looks like the distributor is down low. This car is equipped with dual horns, which are mounted to the firewall. Also notice the windshield washer fluid bottle. It's connected right to the windshield wiper motor. That also looks like it's vacuum operated, with the rubber hose going from the carburetor to the wiper unit. Intake runs under exhaust. Notice the plate. Almost looks like a shield. It's on there to combat vapor lock. I've seen them used on Hudson cars all the time. This is the first time I'm ever seeing it on a Baker. Heater, single belt system. The crank runs the fan and the water pump, which looks like it's behind the fan, and the generator, which is on the other side underneath the battery. On the positive side, milestone car, good performance, full instrumentation dashboard with great interior space. There was only 1,702 Commander convertibles made, making them pretty rare. Against it, they're not cheap, they're not easy to find, they're rust prone, especially in the front fenders. All right, now it's time for Would You Rather. 2 scenarios today. In the first scenario, would you rather have a 1949 Ford convertible or 1949 Studebaker Commander convertible or 1949 Chevy convertible? I'm going to leave this here for a minute. If you need more time, feel free, pause the video. On to the second scenario, and it's a bit outside the box, but which one would you rather have? 1949 Hudson Super 6 convertible or 1949 Studebaker Commander convertible or 1949 Willis Jeepster convertible? Once again, gonna leave this here for a minute. If you need more time, feel free, pause the video. Now it's time for Name That Tune. First person to get both the name of the band and the song title correctly in the comment section will have their comment pinned to the top of it. So, this will be the third time that I've used this song. Nobody has gotten it the other two times, and I don't remember what videos they're on. But anyway, thank you all so much for coming out and watching this. If you'd like to get in touch with me for any reason, maybe you're just bored and you want to talk cars, shoot me an email at what_it's_like@yahoo.com. Until next time, toodaloo! Something I totally forget to add every time I do Studebakers is Studebaker has a truck line going from the half ton all the way up to the big commercial.